top of the league. Penn State is leading Nebraska at 8-1 also, but Minnesota and Wisconsin both within striking distance. Should be a terrific matchup here at the Maturi Pavilion. Hello again, everyone. I'm Larry Putney, along with former Big Ten coach and All-American Laura Bush. Great to have you with us tonight here in Minneapolis. This has always been a great battle when this kind of border war takes place between Wisconsin and Minnesota. I think we're going to see another great one tonight, possibly for an elimination at the top of the league.
It definitely is. This is a separation match potentially on who's going to go up and who's going to remain at 500 or try to go up. But even more important than that, it's number 9 against number 5.
Right.
And it's a big match nationally for how seeding can go for the NCAA tournament.
We're going to see two players, outstanding freshmen, both candidates for Big Ten Freshman of the Year. Let's start with Dana Redke from Wisconsin.
Well, she is such a force, and Coach Sheffield says just as much about her. At 6'8", she moves so efficiently on the attack, and expect that she's going to see a lot of sets when Wisconsin controls that first contact and they can throw that ball back to her. But just when you think you got her contained, you're going to have to be aware of her when she's blocking at the net. She's a force to have to be reckoned with, and I expect the Gophers have a plan against her. On the Gopher side, we have Stephanie Samade, and she's just a freshman playing 6 rotations on the right side. What is so impressive about this student athlete is that she hits efficiently out of the back row as well as she does in the front row. She is a mature competitor and so poised with her talent during a competition.
Well, the last 2 times these teams have met here at the Pavilion in Minneapolis, it's gone 5. Expecting a great one tonight. Number 9 and number 5 inside the Big Ten Conference. Minnesota, and what a terrific win for the Golden Gophers today as they knocked off the Illini 24-17. That was a 10-10 game until late. What a terrific come-from-behind win. Here's a look at the starting lineups. We'll start with the 9th-ranked Badgers of Wisconsin. You see the freshman center, Sydney Hilly. Then the 2 outsides, the seniors, Gillis and Bates, struggled last time in this matchup. Williams is just a junior in the middle. Here's a look at the Gophers lineup. Lauren Barnes and Samady, the freshman, along with Pittman in the lineup. A junior, sophomore, and the senior, Molly Lohman, one of the leaders out there for this Gopher squad. Badgers come in tonight 14-4, 5-4 in the Big Ten Conference. The Gophers near the top, just 1 game behind both Penn State and Nebraska at 7-2. We mentioned it off the top, but an important battle tonight for the Gophers. You just don't want to fall 2 games behind those other 2 teams whose schedules lighten up as we head into the second half of the Big Ten Conference. First swing on the outside, no touch point for the Gophers.
Team is starting in their normal rotation, whether they serve or they receive. And I know that Coach Sheffield talked to the Wisconsin Badgers about a good first contact so they can utilize Dana Redke as she comes across the the front row. Excuse me.
There's Redke on the slide. Great up in the back row by Barnes. Tried to give the free ball over and just did not clear the net off of the arm of Hart. There's a look at the head coach of the Badgers, Kelly Sheffield, in his 5th season with the Badgers. Picked up win number 400 last time out in his career. 17 seasons overall on the bench as a coach. Service error by Hilly.
I think each team is just trying to find their rhythm, as we talked about before in volleyball. It's a big match, and we got to understand the atmosphere, potentially what's at stake or what each team feels is at stake, and there's going to work their way into each contact, and I imagine it's going to be a fun match as we go forward.
2 or 3 points in, all those butterflies disappear, right?
Exactly.
Off the touch from Martin, it just brushed the antenna, so out. The Gophers are led by Hugh McCutcheon in his 6th season, 152-39, a near 80% winning percentage for Coach McCutcheon here in Minneapolis. As we said earlier, the last 2 times these 2 teams have played, it's gone 5. Both of those big block on the left side by Martin.
That block was really set up nicely by Jasmine Martin, followed by Molly Lohman. Pressed over early, held those hands strong, was able to shut down Madison Duello.
Duello, I believe, is going to be one of the keys here tonight. Wisconsin's so good behind the center with their middles. Can Duello get going on the outside? That goes off the block and out, so the kill by the freshman Dana Redke.
Well, good move in the offense right there by Wisconsin. Had Duello take a quick attack out of the middle front, left Redke behind on the right side, allowed her to hit off at 2 feet, and it proved very successful.
So now to serve is Riley Bell for the Badgers. Freshman out of Naperville, Illinois. Run the quick attack in the middle, and Pittman gets the kill. Reagan Pittman with her first swing and terminates.
Still don't feel that either team is in rhythm with their attacking quite yet. But, hey, she threaded it through, bounced around the block, got a point for her team.
First look from the service line at Stephanie Samity, the freshman out of Claremont, Florida. On the slide, there's Williams. Big swing by Tiana Williams, and she gets the kill. That's why they are so dangerous behind the center. Two terrific runners.
Exactly, and we talked about this earlier with Wisconsin. Being able to hit behind the center on that right side is something that they may not have done so well the first time that these two teams met. And Kelly Sheffield would like to see that part of his offense improve and get utilized this evening.
Pittman with the kill. Reagan Pittman, another freshman for the Gophers. Her redshirt freshman year, she sat behind the Tap twins last year. Here's another freshman, Lauren Barnes, out of Naperville. Good aggressive swing by Kelly Bates. And Bates with the kill from the left side.
And even more impressive is how well that first contact came off the arms of that passer so that that offense could click on all cylinders.
Pushed outside, first swing by Hart. Alexis Hart rotates into the front and makes her presence known right away. 24 kills for Hart last time out against the Badgers.
She is so dynamic and such a great competitor. She used those hands perfectly.
Daliana Lise Rosado, libero for the Gophers with the short serve. On the slide, Williams again. 2 tries behind the center for Williams. 2 times she's terminated.
And as Kelly Sheffield pointed out, Sydney Hilly is getting used to setting behind her a little bit more than Tiana Williams, especially when things aren't perfect. Currently, the passing is really solid for Wisconsin, so she has anyone that she wants to available in her offense.
Swing is long from Samity. You get a sense that this very young Badger squad with a first-year setter, a first-year middle who's 6'8", moves really well, that they're just going to continue to get better throughout the season.
And how exciting for both teams. They're both fairly young at some key parts, and they can just continue to mature and grow together.
Second touch by Seliger Swinson. Dumps it.
She makes that, anything she does, she makes look very easy. We talked about that prior to the broadcast. That's that one trait that stands out is that the game is simple for her.
Sliding in for Redke. Good hustle by Hart to keep it alive. They'll go right back to Redke again. That time Samity kept it alive. Swing by Hart, the tip. Boy, great job defensively by both teams. Longest rally here of set number 1 goes to Wisconsin.
Really nice pursuit right here. And way to keep that ball in play. Even though Wisconsin got the point, that effort and relentless pursuit on defense is key to keep your team going and in a rally throughout the competition.
Free ball coming over for the Gophers. Seliger Swinson behind her. The tip by Samity, and point Minnesota. 2 hits called on the Badgers. So back and forth here early, 8-8 in set number 1. Alexis Hart this past week picked up her first career Big Ten Player of the Week. She had an outstanding week. Averaged 4.5 kills per set. Tried to keep that up. It cleared the antenna and hit off the side of, I believe, Redke. That's kind of a big kill there.
Well, it's a big kill potentially for Lauren Gillis, and she saw it could be an overpass, and any hitter that's up at the net, we can get a little greedy on whether to block it straight back or hit it. She knew it was going out of bounds, but couldn't get out of the way in time.
Did go off Gillis there. Good pass there by Gillis. Out of the back row, Hart. And to the net goes Gillis.
Hopefully she's able to just let that last point go prior to that, not carry that through to the next play.
Lauren Gillis, Kelly Bates will be key tonight. The last time they met, 89 swings between Gillis and Bates, only 25 kills in those 89 swings, but 16 attack errors. And you've seen Gillis get the kill there off of the block and out, but getting more out of that left side, both Gillis and Bates, is going to be key for the Badgers.
It is. Winning it at the pins is going to be really key on whether who's going to be hitting it. But good for Sydney Hilly to keep giving the ball back to Lauren Gillis and not allowing her to get into a bunt. That can be one of the worst things for a hitter, that you make an error, then all of a sudden it's like a desert in the offense and you don't get a chance to redeem yourself.
Redke in the middle, and Redke with another kill. Redke has 3 here early on 5 swings, no errors. Kind of danced around the tape there and did not clear.
It was a good idea, just didn't get executed the way they wanted it.
One of the leaders for the Gophers back to serve now, Molly Lohman. Good tip by Duello, and the kill.
That's one of the areas that we saw exposed by Ohio State on Wednesday against the Gophers, and just pushing that tip past the block, but also in the middle of a pack of players. It's going to be who's going to take it, I got it, you take it, and it can be a kill for the person who puts it down.
Hugh McCutcheon told you this week it's something that they were aware of, spent a little time in practice. Blocked by Duello, and on the line it falls, and the kill, check that, the block by Duello.
Really well set block right there by Duello. The set is inside. Duello made that adjustment not only with her feet, but then also pressing her hands back into the court.
Missed away, just wide. Nice set there by Seliger. Switzer, though, to push it out to the pin behind her.
And right now, this is a little uncharacteristic for the Gophers on their offense. They're still finding their way. It's a bunch of freshmen. You know, you got a junior setter leading them. I imagine they'll work their way through.
Right into the campfire on the second touch. Boy, she is so good.
Well, and when your hitters aren't getting it done for you, maybe you take the offense into your own hands, just like Samantha did. She'd say below the tape is illegal contact, found its way to the floor.
The slide, Williams again. And Williams with another kill. That's 3 kills, 4 swings for Tiana Williams. And the middles, as expected, very effective here early on for the Badgers.
Well, specifically, anyone hitting behind the setter right now for Wisconsin is finding a way to get it through the block and getting the ball down for a kill.
Good touch there by Martin. Nice coverage. Bates rolls it over. Deep corner, nice shot by Jazz Martin.
A really clean play by either side of the net right there. Wisconsin dug a few good balls. The Gophers dug a few good balls. And it was just going to be who got the hardest swing last.
Bates powers through the block. Kelly Bates from the left side with the kill. And the Badgers on top here, 15-13. Alexis Hart from the left side, but she's answered by the Badgers. Dana Rutke, they lead at 15-13. Well, she's a freshman, Sydney Hilly, but directing this offense very effectively right now.
Well, Coach Kelly Sheffield talks about her confidence and that she can set the ball from anywhere on the court. But more importantly, as she's gone through her first year as a starting setter, she's getting more comfortable in setting that middle when she's on the run. And we're seeing it here tonight. Everything seems nearly unstoppable for Wisconsin when the ball goes to their right side.
There is Sydney Hilly out of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, Champlin Park High School. Had big shoes to fill in replacing Lauren Carlini, but early on, she's done a nice job for a young Badger squad. And a big block on the right side. 4 touches, point for the Gophers. Seliger swings it up there on that block.
Really heavy swing here by Lauren Gillis, and she just found the teeth of the block by Samantha Seliger-Swinton. And I'm sure she's super excited. It's not a lot of times a setter gets a block like that, and usually the credit goes to the middle.
So our first challenge of the match. Of course, each coach receives 3 opportunities to challenge. The challenge review system, or CRS, and we'll take a look at not sure if the challenge is on a touch of the net potentially. Yep.
I think it's on an early net violation prior to the play, potentially.
So the challenge coming from Kelly Sheffield. He's saying he thought one of the Gophers was in the net. Let's take a look. Yep. So just based on what we saw there, he'll likely win the challenge, and point will go to Wisconsin. We'll see what our R2, Michelle Prater, says. Yes, into the net. And point for the Badgers. So you saw Reagan Pittman just brush that net. Michelle Prater saw it on the replay. So that will be one of the 3 challenges that Kelly Sheffield will have tonight. One of the things they'll certainly review in the offseason is if you win a challenge, should you receive another, or at least not have that challenge count against you?
Well, my opinion on this is that if you have a challenge, if you are the coach who issues the challenge and you are correct, then you should keep the challenge.
Why would you lose it then?
Otherwise, it seems very punitive and you get penalized for a call that got missed. And granted, the game happens fast. You know, so there are touches that are hard to see, and it will require a camera to really see it. But I do think keeping those 3 challenges, if you win them, is important.
Working through an equipment malfunction right now on the floor, as you see Hugh McCutcheon, who agrees with you. He also believes that if you're, you know, as he put it, maybe you have a crew that's having a bad night and you happen to challenge 3 times and be correct, you shouldn't be penalized for overturning a call that was correct in the first place. And you can see there, they're putting some tape down on the floor. So back to play here after the challenge was successfully won by Kelly Sheffield. Look out. That's by Hart. Gillis in the middle, and once again, Pittman's there.
There's a really good read by Lauren Gillis to pick up the tip by Alexis Hart. But then going back into that offense, she might want to stretch herself a little bit more, getting past that block, because Reagan Pittman was just sitting right there in the middle, ready to shut that attack down.
Good serve by Rosado. Gillis. Out of the back row. Bates not down. Back row attack. Deep corner, great shot. And Samity with the kill.
What was really fun about that is Samity got the dig. The blockers bid on Molly Lohman. Samity comes up from behind. Literally had no block in front of her.
We've seen Samity beyond the 10-foot line so many times already early in her career. She does such a nice job of reading the floor and understanding where to go. Off the block. That one kept alive by Emmy Dodge. Lohman with the kill in the middle, and here come the Gophers.
A lot of good net play right there with the blocking as well as the attacking. A quick transition set to Molly Lohman allowed that to be successful in the offense.
3-zip Minnesota run. Another tough serve by Rosado. And Williams powered through the block right at Hart.
Sometimes that block looks like it's well formed, but unless you're fully pressed over and you stay up there and over as long as you can, that ball can find its way through between the blocker's arms and the net, and that's very tough to recover.
Outside, there's Alexis Hart. First time she's had a good full approach and been able to unload.
Well, again, credit Molly Lohman on drawing that block of Dana Retke, taking her away so that Alexis Hart was one-on-one against Sydney Hilly.
Seems like the Gophers beginning to run more tandems or combinations than we've seen earlier in the year.
I think it's just part of the wrinkles of going through the season. You're getting the second half of the Big Ten, as well as going into the NCAA tournament. You want to keep adding diversity to what you're doing both defensively and offensively, and even in serving.
Back to serve is Sydney Hilly. Great job of tooling the block. Not much she could do, but use the hands well.
See Madison Duello a little bit upset with herself because she knew it was going to happen, but couldn't stop it as the play was occurring.
In the middle, Dana Retke. Not only is she extremely athletic for 6'8", but she brings some fire to the floor.
She does. She has a competitor's personality, but that angle in which she hit that ball off of 1 foot in front of the setter, I mean, it's almost a guessing game on where the block should cross their hands over, let alone if you're in backcourt defense, it's sort of just get down, get low, and try to deflect it away from yourself.
There by Retke off the swing of Lohman. And Duello from the right side. That is what Wisconsin did so well against Nebraska in that 3-1 win in Madison, was the middles have so much success, and when they start to close in, here comes Duello. Kill by Martin, Jazz Martin.
It wasn't the most powerful swing, but it was a great swing in the sense that she got a full jump on it, just kind of swatted it through the block, and it can still find the floor. So those hitters out there, it's not always the only way to be successful is by hitting the ball hard. Just hit it well consistently.
Martin again, the tip, Bates is there. Duello on the block and off of the hands of Martin, and Duello with the kill.
I like how Madison Duello is just going up against a fully formed block, not afraid of it, going to test it out, and she's being successful, not only hitting around it or through it, but also using what the block gives her so that it deflects off the hands and out of bounds on her own side.
Good deep serve. And then the block by Duello off the swing of Martin. And suddenly 3 away are the Badgers here in set number, Will, for the Badgers as they've been to the East Coast, back to Madison, up to Minneapolis, and back. Look at that, 3,100 total miles in 8 days. Thank goodness for charters.
And thank goodness that you can, you know, as Coach Sheffield talked about, he front-loaded for the team, which he rarely does. Just basically get your stuff together academically and at home, get organized so that you're ready for this, you know, these 3 road trips coming up.
Of course, the Penn State trip coming up next for Wisconsin. Kind of went through a couple of tough stretches this year. Has Wisconsin is now 23-19, 2 away. They went on that losing streak, Michigan State, Minnesota, Nebraska, and now they have to go Minnesota, Penn State. The Titans of the Big Ten, they've been through a couple of times. Second touch by Seliger-Swinson. Gillis on the ankle. They're going to call it touch. And I think Hugh McCutcheon's going to take another timeout.
And right now, Madison Duello is just...
Travel back east, as we said, to take on #1 ranked Penn State. Then the Gophers also host the Fighting Illini right after. It all starts at 7 Eastern on Wednesday only on BTN. Take a look at that last play off of the swing of Kelly Bates.
We thought this ball was clean coming off of Kelly Bates' hand and not finding that touch, but good line judge back here saw it. It was a kill for Kelly Bates versus an error.
There's Samity from the right side. And now Samity back to serve. 24-20, set point number 2 coming up here for the Badgers.
This is a good rotation for Wisconsin with Tiana Williams and Madison Duello still in the front row.
Out of the back row. Good hustle, won it up by Gillis. Pushed outside, Martin got the kill. Back-to-back points for the Gophers.
A little bit of delay here with water on the floor. Let Stephanie Samity to think about that serve a little bit longer.
This the third set point for the Badgers here in set number 1. Stephanie Samity ready to serve. Left for Duello. Out of the back row, rolled by Samity off the top of the block, kept alive. The dump, good up, keeping it alive. Free ball here for Wisconsin. Duello again, block and down. Oh, they're going to say it was out. On the block, they will say it was wide, point Wisconsin. And on the third set point, the Badgers close it out.
And what a fun final point for Wisconsin to earn in this first set. Rally kept going back and forth. Finally find the ball to Madison Duello. Who other than Madison Duello right now? Hits the block, goes out of bounds.
Of Minnesota. And this border battle between Wisconsin and Minnesota features 2 of the top setters in the league. Both grew up playing in Minnesota. Sydney Hilly from Wisconsin. You see her numbers. She was Miss Baton, Minnesota's Player of the Year in 16, and Samantha Seliger-Swinson, who was the Big Ten Setter of the Year last year, dethroning 3-time Setter of the Year Lauren Carlini. She was the Player of the Year in Minnesota back in 2014. What a terrific volleyball culture there is in this state.
It really is, and it just continues to grow and get, fostered. It really matters, but it's not just the junior club volleyball. There's a lot of adults playing volleyball in Minnesota, too.
So you're still playing?
I am definitely not playing.
Big swing on the outside, Alexis Hart. So impressive when you can get her going and she gets a full approach.
Well, it's almost as if, it's Minnesota reset after that first game. It didn't go their way, and they come out with a good first contact. And of course, Samantha Seliger-Swinson sets an excellent ball to the outside to allow Alexis Hart to just unload.
Gophers in set number 1 hit 186 to Wisconsin's 341. There's Dana Redke. She doesn't look it on the floor, but she is 6 feet 8 inches tall.
She moves with such ease, and technically, she's really sound. And the thing is, she's just going to get better over the next 3 years.
Didn't start playing volleyball until her freshman year in high school. In fact, she One of her friends was trying out for a club team and said, hey, you should come try out with. She was a basketball player, had scholarships already being offered from Division I schools. She said, all right, I'll go try the club volleyball thing. Fell in love with it, and here she is 4 years later as a freshman playing at this level. Duello blocked back by Pittman. Hart just inside the line. That's a great shot. Check that by Lauren Gillis.
I like that play that Wisconsin does. They move Redke behind the setter, let Duello hit in the middle, and you got to allow her to swing a few times in the middle if you're going to get Redke open. But really good coverage by the setter, Sydney Hilly, to keep that rally going to Lauren Gillis.
On the angle, just wide. Point back. Point Gophers.
I'm sure in that time between the two sets, the Gopher coaches talked about, we have to shut down the attack that's coming from behind the setter on the Wisconsin side. Let's make an adjustment either defensively at the net or defensively in the backcourt.
Bump set by Clark out to Duello. That went off the fingertips. There was a touch and the point to Wisconsin.
Nice high swing by Madison Duello. Good for her that she comes back after hitting the ball out, goes in hard for an out-of-system set, and manages really well at the top of her jump, clips the fingertips of the Gopher block.
Back in now for the Badgers is the libero. The transfer from Michigan, who was eligible about 6 matches into the season. Curious if she would be eligible early on after the transfer, playing at Michigan last year. She was ruled eligible, and she's been a big part of this floor defense for the Badgers. Just wide.
So look here at Dana Redke at 6'8", with the smallest player on the Wisconsin team, with Amber McDonald at 5'4". Quite a difference there in size, but she is a good athlete, plays really well.
In case college coaches are wondering, does she have any little sisters maybe coming up? She's 2 inches taller than her father. She has a younger sister who's 5'9". So Dana got the height in the family. Although Dad is 6'6".
That's fair.
Off the block of the kill by Hart. And her mom Kathy is 5'11". Dad's 6'6". She has a 16-year-old sister, Leah, who is 5'9". Galeano leaves Rosado now to serve. Quick swing there by Tiana Williams. They'll go right back to her again, and that time off the hands of Lohman. And Williams picks up the kill.
A lot of the rhythm of Sydney Hilly right now. She'll go right back to that hitter. No doubt that Tiana Williams has a hot hand. There's a reason to give it to her. But even if her hitters aren't successful on their first swing, she is not afraid to give it to them on a second or a third time right after that.
Good up by Clark off the swing of Hart. There's Gillis. Gillis that time off the hand of Seliger Swinson with the kill. 4 now for the Badgers senior.
Nice set by Sydney Hilly. And Coach Sheffield talked about she can set from anywhere off on the court. That was basically a full court set. Gillis capitalized on it.
Badgers up.
They're on not only on blocking, but also on attacking.
There's the numbers 333 and 189 for the Gophers. Alexis Hart with a blast from that left side. So into the net on the swing. (7-6) here. On the slide, Williams blocked back. Great coverage there by Bates. Into the net. On the Badgers. Back to even. 7-7 here in the second.
What really good play. Good pickup right there on that block coverage, and it just didn't go their way. Tiana Williams finds herself in the net. You know, she's trying to joust up there above the net and just got a little out of it.
Ace by Seliger Swinson. First ace of the match for the Gophers.
Boy, that ball just dropped off the table off of Seliger Swinson's hand. It went across the net and nosedived.
One of the team numbers and team statistics that is so impressive about the Gophers is their service aces to service errors on the season. They have 76 aces, 77 errors, and now, after that ace, it's even 77 apiece. That's a ratio, as a team, you would take all day long.
But when you're a team that is as talented as the Gophers are in blocking, you don't have to rely on a risky serving in order to, you know, win the point. So control the serving, trust your block, trust your backcourt defense, but most importantly, trust the ball that's going to come off that defense. When you have Samantha Seliger Swinson, she can set the offense from anywhere and makes it look so easy. So there's a lot of trust there in that philosophy.
Well, you saw the nod of the head from Hugh McCutcheon. He likes what he sees as his Gophers are now up 10-7. Tuesday, we bring you some BTN Originals content at 9 Eastern. The Journey brings you an all-access look at Wisconsin football safety Dakota Dixon. Then at 10 Eastern, Campus Eats brings you the best food in the Big Ten. The Journey and Campus Eats, starting at 9 Eastern on Tuesday. Good block there by Samity on the right side. Samity up there along with Lohman. A big block up there for the Gophers.
Looked like Lauren Gillis just choked up a little bit on her swing and wasn't able to get the ball to go over the block.
Swing is long from Lauren Gillis. Pulled that set in a bit.
If the offense isn't working for a hitter in the location that you set them in, change the location, give them something a little bit different. But it's up to Gillis then to find a way to get it in bounds.
The slide, Williams off the hands of Lohman. Tiana Williams certainly been a bright spot tonight for the Badgers. 6 kills now on 12 swings. She's hitting above 375. Check that 417. Tough serve and the ace by Clark.
That is a tough space in which to serve into, but also a tough space in which to pass. You have 3 hitters over on that left side of the court for the Gophers. There might be some communication issues, but that was a really tough serve by Tiffany Clark.
On the second try, puts it down.
Good response by her. She didn't get the kill the first time, so she goes up the second time, jumps maybe a little bit higher, swings a little bit faster. Good use of the gift she has.
Hart has had a very quiet 10 kills. 10 kills, 18 swings. She's hitting right at 500.
Saw that look on her face after she made that service error, which might be a Cardinals sin for them, but hey, go back at it, reset, come back in when you come in the front row.
Lohman off the set from Seliger Swinson with another kill. And Lohman with 3 now on 7 swings.
I think home and does so much for this Gopher team. And I mean, obviously right there we see her attack, and she, you know, the set is between the two blockers for Wisconsin, but she talks to the other blockers, you know, when they're in, the younger blockers, about what's going to go on. She's up in the air a lot, whether she gets set or not, and she has a ton of blocks. Also as the serving middle for the Gophers. Just really good senior leadership as a senior middle.
Hugh McCutcheon said she operates from a leadership perspective of authenticity. She's not overly, she's more of an introvert than anything, but because she's so authentic and the players believe in her, that's what makes her such an effective leader. Off the hand of Samity. Samity got a hand on that too, and the kill by Kelly Bates.
What resilience, and then some perseverance for Kelly Bates. That block was just sitting on her and kept getting set, kept going at it, found success.
Back to Samity off the hand of Bates. And the kill by Stephanie Samity. Gophers on top here by 3, midway through set number 2. On the slide, sent back over off of the dig and out, so the kill to Dana Retke. And Retke now with 7 kills, no errors. And that ended a 3-0 Gopher run. Got a touch. No touch called, and a point for the Gophers. Duello was calling for a touch right away.
Well, players, when you're on the floor, you hear stuff. You know what's going on, and, you know, maybe Coach Sheffield, it's not that he doesn't believe her, he just doesn't want to use a challenge right now.
Used one in set number 1, was successful, and has 2 remaining. Good coverage there by Clark. Back to Duello. And Duello is really heating it up. Madison Duello with 7 kills.
It's a really good line shot by her and very cleanly hit down the line. We've seen her hit a lot cross court. She changes her approach a little bit, but mostly changes her contact point with her wrist. Able to get it more to the left side of the Gopher defense.
Now, despite the service error, you've seen the confidence grow in that young lady who suffered an ACL tear last year along with the meniscus tear, sat out most of last season with that injury, has slowly come back. As you said, wasn't great against the Gophers last time they played, but she had a terrific outing in the win against Nebraska, 14 kills. And here in set number 2 already with 7. Bates between the block, good up by Rosado. And a little roll shot by Alexis Hart. That gives her 11 kills, the 8th consecutive game that Alexis Hart has had double-digit kills, and the Badgers will take a timeout. Badgers win the first. The Gophers have come back strong here in set number 2. Hitting 262 in this second.
You know, this shot by Alexis Hart, she takes a little bit off. She probably had it planned. No, Gophers have scouted Wisconsin. But that falls within the belly of the defense, which is right in front of the defense, between a few players. Wisconsin had a good read on it, but when you feel like you're going to be colliding with one of your teammates, you risk injury and also let the ball drop because you don't want to crack heads.
There's a look at the hitting percentages for both teams in set 1 and 2. This Gophers team, 18-2 on the year. Those 2 losses coming in back-to-back matches to Michigan State and Nebraska on a 6-match winning streak. Hugh McCutcheon and his Golden Gophers. And what a run it's been for the former Olympic head coach, both men and women, as he led them to a Final Four in 15-16. And looking to return here in 2017. Only coach in the history of the U.S. to win medals on both the men's and women's side, Hugh McCutcheon. 2008 Olympics and 2012. Men won the gold in Beijing in 08, and women took the silver in 12 in London. Just in on the swing by Hart. They're going to call a touch. Maybe it was long, but the touch gives the kill to Alexis Hart, who is heating up. Bates readjusts, got a good swing on it. On the second touch, Hilly couldn't get it down. Out to Bates again. And a point for the Badgers.
That first contact for the Badgers was slowing down their offense a little bit. And good for Hilly to put herself in the offense at, you know, maybe not an ideal time, but it makes the block of the Gophers be honest and have to recognize that she can be a potential threat as well.
Boy, great set there by Seliger Swinson. Into the net, pulls it back out, and puts it on the pin.
And one of the things I think that makes her so good, and no doubt it's with a lot of training, she makes the hard look so easy. And for any player, any athlete, those who are capable of doing that are in rare air.
Overpass. And down. Point for the Gophers. (22-15).
Good dig back there by the Gophers. And Lauren Gillis wanted every piece of that. Just a little bit of missed time at the top of her jump. Couldn't find its way over.
Freshman from Geneva, Illinois, Grace Loberg now into the game. She's hitting .231 on the year. Averages just under 2 kills per set. Tiana Williams got a hand on that. And that will send Tiffany Clark back to the service line.
The last time she was back here, she got an ace that just dropped off the table.
Good up there by Loberg. Right back to Loberg again. And the kill. So maybe Kelly Sheffield looking for a little spark off the bench from Grace Loberg.
Exactly, and good for Sydney Hilly to give her the ball a little bit early so that she can get a rhythm out there and get comfortable. You know, she made a nice dig, she's moving well, and it's a player the Gophers probably haven't prepared for and obviously haven't seen yet this match.
Good pancake up. Loberg sends that back over, pushed outside. Hart. Nice up by Bates in the back row. Back to Loberg. Blocked by Lohman.
Good for Molly Lohman on reading this ball that's going to the outside, but that left hand of Molly Lohman presses back over that trailing hand of that middle blocker, takes that sharp angle out, went straight to the floor. Good blocking by Molly.
One-handed set back to Dana Retke, and Retke finds the right place for it. 8 kills now for Dana Retke on 15 swings, no errors. Here's Sydney Hilly to serve. So we'll have set point for the Gophers here at Maturi Pavilion, trying to even it up at 1 set apiece. Lowberg swing, hitting error, and that will give set number 2 to the Golden Gophers. We head to the intermission, all knotted at 1 apiece. So the Gophers hit 344 in that set after struggling in set number 1, hitting just 186. A much more energized Gophers squad in set number 2. Joined now by the head coach of the Golden Gophers, Hugh McCutcheon. What did you see differently from set number 1 to 2, Coach?
Yeah, I was able to hear your comments. Obviously, the offensive end was a big deal for us. I thought in the first set we were doing a lot of good things, but we just weren't able to get the ball to the floor. And, you know, when you can side out, it makes a big difference in this game.
As you go into this set 3 and you meet with your team, what are some areas that you plan on discussing with your team that can even get more improved to take care of the Wisconsin Badgers tonight?
Yeah, obviously we got to continue to try to deal with the slide. They're running a lot of quick attack at us, and we've got to be better at trying to defend that. That'll be a good start. And I think the out-of-system stuff are okay, but, you know, when they're in system, it's a lot to deal with. So we're just trying to get in good spots and see what we can do.
Hugh, thanks for joining us.
Yep, cheers, thanks.
Pleased to be joined by Hugh McCutcheon there between sets number 2 and 3. We head to the intermission. All even at 1 apiece in the border war between the Gophers and the Badgers. Sheffield, you hit so well behind the center in set number 1, hit at a 340 clip. What changed in the second?
Oh, I think we're still hitting pretty well back behind the center. I think we're going back here quite a bit. 3 options, and we're hitting for a pretty high percentage. Got to get Gilly going a little bit better. Bates, I thought, was doing a lot better going high hands. But the biggest thing is we've got to find a way to slow down Hart. That kid is just, she's lights out right now.
And what did you say to your team between sets 2 and 3 in the locker room?
It's 1-to-1. We talked a little bit about serving strategy, talked a little bit about some defensive adjustments that we'll need to do. Hopefully we'll have a little bit better matchup with her. Our block is a little bit too far on her. We got to keep that in a little bit.
Thanks for joining us, Kelly. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys.
That's the head coach of the Wisconsin Badgers, Kelly Sheffield. His team in a battle here on the road at number 5, Minnesota, 1-1. Gophers took the second 25-18 in convincing fashion as they out-hit 344 to 98. Hey, I want to remind you later tonight, we catch you up on an entire day of Big Ten football, highlights, interviews, analysis. The final drive presented by Auto Owners Insurance coming up right after we're done here in Minneapolis. Seliger Swinson will start it off here in set number 3 for the Gophers. We'll go right back behind again, and once again, it's Dana Retke. She has been a bright spot, 9 kills, no errors for the Badgers.
That's just a good location on that set for her to go up and get and swing high. She has so much range from where she can hit.
Tip try by Lohman. And Gillis tried to just send it over.
Tell she's a little bit frustrated with herself. Teammates are helping her out. And probably the best thing when a player, you know, is feeling a little bit tight right now, wants to get back into the rhythm that they're used to hitting, is just go up and get one ball over. Doesn't have to be hard. Just get it over to allow yourself to start swinging away at it again.
No trouble once again for Dana Retke. She is hitting .562 here early in set number 3. And that was her 10th kill, and she's now over 600. Right side, the swing by Stephanie Samity. Samity more out of the back row than they have the right side tonight, but she's been effective both places.
She has, and she's been fairly quiet. We haven't called her name a whole bunch, so it's nice to see her to get back into the offense and see how the Gophers open up their entire offense in this set.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? I mean, if it ain't broken, fix it. Something like that. Redke's doing
Go back
well.
to your hot hitter.
Stick with it, right?
Each and every time. Yeah, if you got a hot hitter, there's no reason to not give the ball to her. Force the other team to make an adjustment on defense.
That's what bailing me out there. Bump set outside. Free ball here for the Gophers. Seliger-Swinson. Quick to Pittman. Couldn't get it over. Block back again, and good timing there by Tiana Williams with the block.
Yeah, that first attack by Pittman was just a little bit low, but good push by her up into the block so it could be saved by the coverage of Minnesota defense. The second time with her back to the net, she didn't know what was behind her. A little bit blind tip, and Tiana Williams got the best of it.
Serve is long from Riley Bell. Back to serve now for the Gophers goes Stephanie Samity out of Claremont, Florida. Played on the U.S. Youth National Team, USA Junior National Team. Started volleyball late in her career as well. She's caught up quickly. Pittman there at the net wins the joust.
Nice serve by Samity to get this started. It knocks Wisconsin out of system. Pushed over by Jasmine Martin, but good play by Pittman at the net, controlling that net just like a middle blocker should.
And right on the back line by Dwellin.
I am really impressed with her game tonight, that she has 2 blockers on her most of the time, and she's able to thread it through, in between, and off their hands.
Martin is blocked back by Williams. Go right back to Martin again. Good touch there by Jazz. Aggressive swing out of the back row. Off the touch of the kill by Jazz Martin.
You know, that wasn't a hard swing, but Duella pulled herself up underneath the blockers, maybe expecting a tip. Jasmine Martin, credit to her that she got that ball down the line where Duella wasn't.
There's Lauren Barnes now into serve for Minnesota. Just the second service error of the match on the Gophers.
You know, as a freshman defensive specialist, I think Lauren Barnes is one of the best ones in the Big Ten. I think she manages her role very well. Even though we saw a service error right there, that's a rarity. And we see her pass the ball well and dig the ball. Quite exceptional.
They're going to call a carry, lift on Pittman. Okay, she grabbed it and threw it down. Tough call on Pittman. Even it's 7-5 now.
I think this is the serving strategy Coach Sheffield mentioned in the break, that they're going to change a little bit. And good job by the server of hitting that short.
State Farm State of Success. Not a surprise to see 4 Big Ten teams in the top 10 nationally in the RPI rankings. You see Minnesota #2, Wisconsin #8. These teams both ranked in the top 10 as well. The RPI is so important when we get to selection time in December.
You're hoping to be seated in that top 16, specifically in the top 4, so you have an opportunity to host.
Great swing by Samity out of the back row. Even better dig by the Badgers. A tip try by Hart, and it's sent back over by Tiana Williams.
Tiana Williams saw what Hart was going to do. Is she slowed up a little bit, got that arm long, pushed that ball in there, and she just blocked it right back down.
The top of the block. First kill of set #3 for Alexis Hart. She now has 14.
Here's Tiana Williams. She's going to go out and block. She sees what's going to happen. Good touch by her, but great swing by Alexis Hart that she can come back after that first stuff, get a kill on her second attempt.
Goes off the block and out. Point for the Badgers. We talked about the RPI. We could see 5 or 6 Big Ten teams hosting come December. Certainly 4 you believe would host. Maybe 5. 6 might be pushing.
I think 6 would be great in the minds of the Big Ten coaches.
Absolutely. Out of the back row, Bates rolls it, but Lohman is there with the block. Molly Lohman, the senior from Mankato.
And I think these push shots that each team is doing right now, these roll shots, they're contacting it a little bit lower than what they want to, and they have to expect that the block from the opponent is just going to be waiting for them. Do something a little bit different with it if you have the opportunity to do it.
That's a great touch by Lauren Gillis, and sometimes when you're struggling, those are the things that can get you going.
Just get a ball over and make them play it, or let it land. And I don't think a lot of hitters look to tip the ball. They want to look to hit the ball and hit the ball hard. But good vision by her that she sees 2 blockers in front of her. She's pulled into the court, and she knows that that sideline is going to be exposed in the Gopher defense.
You heard Kelly Sheffield say to start this third set that they needed to get Gillis going, and she is hitting negative 105 right now. 5 kills, 7 errors on 19 attacks. That went off the grill of Retke. That's the negative to being 6'8". Sometimes your face clears that net. Look out.
Yeah, that attack's coming high and hard, and she's up there high as well, Retke. The good swing by Alexis Hart that she wasn't afraid of the block and used the block to her advantage.
That's where your nose and mouth are feeling a little numb right now.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Nose is running a little bit for sure, if not the eyes.
On the slide, Retke put up by Rosado. There's Gillis with another touch. Seliger swings it in coverage. Gillis off the block. Nice up by Clark. Gillis will get another swing. Blocked again. Big rally. Big point for the Gophers.
Really good play on either side of the net. Both teams made adjustments from the previous rally. Gophers made an adjustment on their defense, picked up a tip by Gillis, and good block coverage on the Wisconsin side.
Be as loud as we heard it in here tonight. Retke on the slide. And she has a way of quieting the crowd. 11 kills, 12 now on 20 swings.
And she's literally unstoppable from behind the setter tonight. Just keep pushing the ball that way.
Hart tries to go deep. Good coverage by Bates. And Gillis just can't clear the block.
And as an outside hitter, you know that out of system, you're going to be seeing that set a lot. She's aware of it. She understands the role. She also knows there's a big Gopher block across the net from her. And I think she's giving it a lot of credit, which she should. But I'd like to see her remain aggressive, take a full jump, reach as high as she can, and see what she can do with the ball.
She's got a hand on that, and it was effective.
Really good work by Sydney Hilling. This is exactly what Coach Sheffield was talking about, that Sydney earlier in the season moving forward, she would more than likely just make the easy set to the outside. It's nice to see her expand her range and flick that ball back to the right side, and especially when you have a Dana Retke back there ready to attack.
So here comes one of the captains of the Badgers to serve now. Amber McDonald, they call her AMAC, junior out of Alpharetta, Georgia. Off the block into the antenna, point for the Badgers. kill by Samity. Check that by the Gophers. Samity on the swing.
It's a nice route for her. She lined up so that she could use that block, so it hits off of the hands of the Wisconsin blockers into the antenna.
Hold by Lohman, kept alive. Gophers with the ball they can work with here. Great effort by Gillis to keep it alive, and the swing goes wide. Minnesota back up by 1.
You know, Lauren Gillis hasn't played a lot as a 6 rotation outside hitter for the Badgers. So good for her that if it's not working so cleanly in the front row, she's still providing some nice energy back there in serve, receive, and also in her defensive play.
They're not afraid to go at her on the serve either. There's Retke on the slide, hitting behind the center again successfully. Back in now for the Badgers comes Riley Bell. She'll serve as you see the kill by Retke. Block didn't get there, and a wide open swing for Martin.
That set got pushed out a little farther to the left than what we've seen earlier to the set to Jasmine Martin. And that might be an adjustment that the block will make for the Badgers going further.
Williams swing into the block of Martin, who got a hand on it. Now Martin with the swing. That goes off the hand of Duello, and Martin with another kill. She's come alive here in set number 3.
She's doing a nice job of picking her offensive game up, and instead of tipping it, finding a way to still hit the block, pushing it past the block to places where the defense isn't, and quietly getting her kills and racking up points.
It's now 6 kills for Jasmine Martin in the match. She had 3 coming into set 3, so 3 already here in the third.
Good pickup on the defense for the Gophers, but it just went past that center line outside of the poles, outside of a playing area, so it's called out of bounds.
On the slide, Pittman. That's a great set by Swinson, right to Pittman, who delivers.
She got every piece of that ball. She went off the 1 foot to make that connection right there. It almost feels like she's just been waiting for that to happen all night. It's good to get the first one like that done.
Hugh McCutcheon said she's a bit of an unsung hero on this team. Does so many little things that go unnoticed very well. Just her redshirt freshman year. There is terrific young talent in the conference this year. And another swing and kill by Pittman.
The Gophers are seeing themselves being successful as well behind the setter. See how the Badgers change their defense to try to slow Pittman down.
Timeout will be taken by Kelly Sheffield. Badgers down by 3 here in the third. It's 17-14 here at the campus of the University of Minnesota. Numbers for both teams. Wisconsin hitting just 77 here in this third set, which has dropped their overall hitting percentage down to 189. Bates, no touch. It's long, and that makes it a 4-1 run by the Badgers. Check that by the Gophers. Williams with the touch. Pittman plenty of time to readjust. And then look at Alexis Hart from well off the net. It's going well for Hart.
That's part of what Coach McCutcheon was talking about with the little plays of Rachel Pittman. She just made 2 digs within that series right there, reaching her arm out to save a tip dropping and then recovering that tip being pushed over. Good use of her as a middle blocker.
Tough serve. Free ball coming up here for Minnesota. On the slide, Pittman. Great up by M.E. Dodge. Nice attack out of the back row into the net called on the Gophers. And Gillis gets a swing from beyond 10 feet.
Nice to see Lauren Gillis back into an offensive rhythm. Even if it's in the back row, it's still effective. Good approach by her, high jump, and nice fast arm.
Just in by Alexis Hart. Spun around to the line judge. Look for the confirmation.
She's been hitting the ball so hard. I think the defense of Wisconsin found themselves back on their heels, bracing to have a hard hit that they're going to have to dig. Smart play by Alexis Hart, taking off the speed, slowing her arm down, getting that ball to the sideline softly.
Just over the tape on the slide. And that slows the run of the Gophers off the kill by Tiana Williams.
It hasn't felt like we've heard a lot from Tiana Williams in this set. It just feels very quiet from her. So it's good to see her back in action behind the setter, Sydney Hillick, because it's been super effective.
What a swing by Stephanie Samity. Just a freshman. She's never seen snow before.
She'll have a fun winter here in Minnesota.
She's about to, right?
She will.
Snow as much as it wants to, as long as she keeps swinging like that. Another terrific deep corner.
Well, look at her aggressively approach to that ball. And it's good to see her get that rhythm behind that ball and swing loosely at it and finding a lot of open space in the Badger court.
22-16, the timeout called by Kelly Sheffield. Gophers in this set hitting 294 to the Badgers 94. You see that reflected in a 22-16. Minnesota just 3 away from going up here at home, 2-1. We talked about this just a bit off the top, but it really an important match for both of these teams if they hope to keep pace at the top of the conference. You have Penn State and Nebraska, both with just 1 loss, but you look at the remaining schedule for teams, and you could argue that it would be difficult if things kind of go according to Hoyle for Penn State or Nebraska to lose more than 1 match. Certainly, if you're Minnesota, you don't want to fall more than 1 behind those 2 teams.
Well, this nearly halfway point of the Big Ten season, your first 10 matches, teams start to separate themselves, in the big category, the top half and the bottom half. And if you're in that bottom half, the adjustments will be made on, from 1 through 12 on every single team, but you're trying to get to the top of the bottom half, and then you're trying to gain your standing in the top half to get as far up that ladder as you possibly can. And this is a big separator potentially, especially with the last 10 matches meaning so much to the NCAA selection committee on who gets those seeds.
And here's the freshman quartet for the Gophers. Samity, Pittman, Martin, and Barnes. And the other thing you just don't know is how are freshmen going to react to a longer season as you begin to get into that second half of the Big Ten.
You're exactly right. You have the academics they have to take care of, midterms, to tests, to, oh my gosh, there's finals. You're also traveling. And, there's a ton of help and resources for student athletes to be successful. But it definitely feels like a job at times on managing your time and also being ready to compete and practice every day.
Out of the timeout, they go to Retke, who delivers once again. She has yet to have a hitting error on 23 swings. 15 kills on 23 for that freshman. Well, that's just heads-up play. Hugh McCutcheon One to carry.
Great save by Sydney Hilly, though. That was a tight pass. She goes up with one hand, finds her hot hitter, and Redkey gets it down.
That time in front of the setter, Lohman is there. Hart delivers again. 18 kills for Alexis Hart. A bit of deja vu for the Badgers.
Good eyes and good blocking by Molly Lohman to stop the hit of Dana Redkey. Then the Gophers get another shot and get that kill from Alexis Hart.
Hart with 24 kills the last time these two played. 18 tonight.
You know, at some point it seems why set anyone else but Dana Redkey when she's in the front row. Just find her. She seems to find a way tonight to get it through regardless of where the ball is.
Serve is long, and that will put the Gophers at set point here in the third. Molly Lohman, the senior, back to serve for it. Good up by Switzer off the swing by Redkey. Clark, equally good. A great readjustment by Bates to get a hand on that. Martin is blocked, and Duello got a hand on it and put it down.
I like this fight at the end of a set. It feels like the red zone, you know, and many times I think teams and sometimes fans think when you're down this much, it's only 4 points, it's only 1 point for the Gophers. If you can't get back into it, you still can.
Second set point. Pittman is dug. And back to Bates. Off the top of the block, Rosado kept it alive. Nice defensive play. Martin then with the tip. Free ball here for the Gophers. For the set. Big block by Bates on that left side. 3 straight for Wisconsin.
Those types of rallies are so much fun as a player right there, that the ball goes back and forth. Good play on either side, both defensively and offensively.
Blocked by Pittman. Duello. Pittman there again. Long rally here at set point. Big block by Pittman. What a great effort along that front line by Pittman. Back and forth defensively, and then comes up with the big block.
Outstanding finish to this third set for the Gophers, and hard work pays off.
As we expected, a great one here in Minneapolis. 2 top 10 teams. Gophers lead it 2-1. Season and tonight, averaging 6 kills per set.
She is a monster tonight. So good to see her continue to grow in her game, which is not surprising at all with the coaching staff that the Gophers have. But I like how she is managing that a block is consistently on her. She finds a way with a variety of shots to get a kill.
In the middle, there's Lohman with the kill.
What a great pass by Lauren Barnes to start off this set. It was classically perfect right there. Putting her platform out, holding it strong, making sure she played the ball, not worried about going to the floor.
Alexis Hart now back to serve. 18 kills for Hart on the night. Just 2 errors. Hitting .421. It's been a great night for Hart. Cover there by Samity. Hart out of the back, does not clear the net.
You know, that set right there by Sydney Hilly, it's just one of those little things I see, but it's you know, it flew a little bit. You know, it's a little bit fast, a little bit high. Coach Sheffield talked about the window, the very large window that Dana Redke can set in. Things don't have to be so perfect to her because she can make up for it with her athleticism and her reach.
Talk about the grind that these teams will face as we enter November. You know, it used to be 5-10 years ago when you maybe had one or two strong teams in the league that it wouldn't be the grind night in and night out that it is now with so many quality teams in the Big Ten. It's not just what you talked about, academics and the nightly play, but the quality of competition, the level of competition we're seeing every night.
I think an important thing to recognize in the Big Ten that regardless of maybe, you know, where a team stands in the Big Ten standings, they're quality teams with good athletes. The coaches know what they're doing, have a good system, can organize a team in order to compete well. But you go through the grind of the Big Ten, it can either wear you down or can enliven you. And I'm sure the coaches have a plan for the team as they start the season and how we manage particular parts of the season, how we manage our practice, what we're doing in weightlifting, front loading on the academic side.
How do you manage a rally like this? You give it to Redke. The line judge said it was out, overruled by the R1. Devonnie McClarty said no, it was in, and the point goes to the Badgers. And I believe we're going to have a challenge from Hugh McCutcheon. So the up official did call a touch, not in, although it was in. So they are challenging that it was out. So the point was given to, yeah, that's clearly in, and you'll see the line judge rule out. Overruled by the R1, Devonnie McClarty. I think this is in our conversation that we had with Hugh McCutcheon yesterday. This is one of the instances that he was talking about. Let's get rid of the clear errors by the use of replay. You're not always going to get it right on every touch, every ball, but when you have something that's a foot in or foot out, let's make sure we get it right.
And it doesn't have to be a challenge for it. Just get it right. Just, you know, if there's an error that's made, which is going to happen with, you know, a refereeing crew, humans aren't perfect, just either have a replay when a replay is necessary or just change the call based on what is seen from the video.
You talked about the quality of coaches that we are seeing around the league, and a friend of yours now taking over the Illini program, and what a great job that he is doing. In fact, they went to Nebraska tonight, pushed Nebraska to 5 sets. Yeah, but that Illinois program continues to improve.
Well, I believe Chris Thomas has gone in there, and it's just enlivened the program. And, you know, anytime that you can have a fresher breath there, however it comes to a team, it can allow the players to be more free to play in a system that you've designed for the team to be successful.
So it was confirmed it was in. The R1 was correct. Point goes to Wisconsin. Back from the Badgers on the serve, and the point goes to Minnesota. Samity now to serve. Was long, and point to the Gophers. 4-2 here early on in set number 4. Wisconsin still struggling with their attack percentage. The current set they're hitting .175 for the match. Gophers have been a bit more efficient. 250 here in this 4th set, 238, and those are the swings that have led to that hitting percentage.
Like any time an unforced error, and an error that doesn't allow the opponent to have to make a decision on it, even if they have to call it in or out, is better than an error when the ball doesn't cross the net.
Second touch there by the freshman Hilly. Hilly goes behind her, and Tiana Williams terminates.
Good find on Sydney Hilly on that set, and good for Tiana Williams to be in a really good rhythm with this slide attack and be able to find a kill behind her setter.
Certainly a lot of good young coaches in the league, but you think about two experienced coaches here in Hugh McCutcheon and Kelly Sheffield, who took over programs who had a lot of success, but both coaches have elevated the play of these two programs. And, you know, you saw good numbers from McCutcheon having them in the Final Four the last 2 years.
I think that's what the strength of recruiting that the head coaches are doing, as well as their staff are doing, to attract, you know, the best players that you possibly can attract to your program that fit your program, that fit the environment of it, that fit the philosophy of it.
There is Hugh McCutcheon, who could have coached a lot of places after the success he had with the Olympic team, Olympic teams. Was really looking for that work-life balance. Led him to take over for Mike Hebert, who had built a terrific program here in Minneapolis. Mike Hebert, one of the early pioneers here in building this program. A little fist bump from Coach. Nice touch by Hart. 19, that's 20 now. 20 kills for Alexis Hart.
Wisconsin isn't playing as cleanly as they were from the first set. They look a little bit disorganized right now.
Overpass. Pittman got it. 6-point lead for the Gophers, and a timeout will be taken by Kelly Sheffield. Minnesota in control here in the fourth. The job at the University of Wisconsin originally said, are you going to compete? Are you going to invest in the program? Do what it takes to compete at this level? He wasn't convinced, said no. They came back and said, we will invest the dollars and we'll make the investment in the program to elevate it and compete against the best in the country. And Kelly said that's all he needed to hear. There were some great coaches up for this job. Christy Johnson, Craig Skinner at Kentucky. They got a good one in Kelly Sheffield. But talk about the investment of programs around the Big Ten, specifically in this sport.
Well, part of it, I think there's two parts of that investment. One is the economic investment. You have to have money in order to get the facilities, to be able to travel the way that allow your athletes to be successful over time during a season. You know, upgrade technology as well as pay good coaches what they're requiring to be paid. But the second part of that investment is investing in people. So it can't be we just dump a whole bunch of money on you and then, you know, here it is. You have to have people who believe in the program, who want the program to be successful. You know, you come into any pavilion or any field house in the Big Ten, you have people greeting you, organizing you, helping you get ready, clean the floor, put up the nets, things so that your coaches and staff don't have to think about doing for the team.
Well, that investment has certainly paid off for both of these programs here in Minnesota and Wisconsin. Back to serve is Tiffany Clark. Up by 4 here in set number 4. Alexis just keeps rolling. That's 22 now.
That is such a quick play when you have a good pass like that in the middle who's available to hit. Then a quick set past the middle to the outside. Alexis Hart gets every inch of that ball for a kill.
How'd you like to go from being on the road at the 5th-ranked team in the country to on the road at the number 1-ranked team in the country? That's a grind, and that's what the Badgers have ahead of them.
but also how exciting that is. I mean, if you're an athlete and you like to have great competition and play with the best players you can possibly play with, that's exactly what you signed up to do.
You always look at the positive.
I try to.
And a net violation, point for the Badgers. That's why the success of one program in a league elevates the success of all programs, because athletes want to compete in that environment against other great teams.
Going back to that play, Lauren Barnes with another perfect pass. She gets her platform behind the ball, manages it really well, goes straight to a very efficient side-out point.
Minnesota hitting .471 here in the fourth. To 143 for the Badgers. Tough serve. Lohman. Redke got a hand on it. Seliger Swinson falling to her feet, gets a bump set out, but a little tight to the net, and not much could be done with that by Martin. Blocked back by Redke.
See, Madison Duello was on fire after she got that last block and came down and looked at her teammates with her fists together and said, "Let's go."
Riley Bell back in to serve for Wisconsin. Trailing by 4, down 2-1 on the road. Number 5, Minnesota. Great up. Good reaction there by Bates to keep it alive. Nice pass by Bell. They run it to Redke with another kill. And Redke now at 19 kills in the match. That ties her season high. She had 19 against Michigan State. And the Gophers will take a timeout off of that kill by Redke. Dana Redke, early on here in her freshman year, has really done it all. She had 19 kills against Michigan State, 5 aces against Michigan, 8 blocks against Nebraska. I mean, she's proven that she can do it all. Maybe hasn't put all 3 of them together in one game. That would be tough to do, but just talk about, she's proven that she can really do everything.
Well, and it's such a big load as a freshman to carry, and maybe one she's not aware of. There's some sort of bliss in not knowing everything that's going on or the role you're playing. You're just going out to play. It's just another day at the office. But the way she looks like she just loves to compete. I mean, she's in every play, whether it's her physically being a part of it, it's her emotionally giving to her teammates. You know, and she's the middle blocker who goes back and serves from the service line and also has to play around the defense. Who knows? Maybe we'll see her as a 6 rotation middle blocker at some point.
Well, she's the middle blocker who leads her team in aces also. I mean, that's...
Well, think about that angle coming at you. And then her high contact, that's almost like a missile coming off her hand straight down at you.
Well, let's take a look at the night that Dana Redke has had for the Badgers.
She is so capable of hitting off of 1 foot. She'll use that in front of the setter, behind the setter. We see her slapping that ball down past the defense of the Gophers, but she has been unstoppable. And what a nice addition to the Badger team as they go into the next few years with Dana Redke on their roster.
And Redke will be working with Sydney Hilly for 4 years. That's a scary,
that's a power punch right there.
Scary thought, isn't it? For the rest of the teams in the Big Ten Conference. Big block, Dana Redke trying to fire her team up.
Good eyes by her on staying home. That was a tight set, little low set by Seliger Swinson to Molly Lohman. Dana Redke was all over it. Made sure that the Gophers knew it too.
The kill by Samity from the right side. Samity now with 9 kills in the match. I think it was Hugh McCutcheon who said that Redke is really unlike any other player he's seen in the U.S. And we said, is there anyone that you've seen in years of volleyball. So maybe a couple of European players who have been similar to her on the international level, but he hasn't seen anyone at 6'8" with her mobility and her effectiveness so early in a career. Right side, Duello with the kill. She's had a nice night. That's 9 kills for Duello, nearing double digits.
And Wisconsin is just chipping away at the lead that the Gophers had, and they've remained steady. They've organized themselves better, not only in their serve receive, but also in their attack up at the net.
Those pin hitters just so tough to defend for the Gophers. There's Samity again.
Well, just when you think you got Samity figured out and you block her cross court, you take her cross court, then she finds a way to get it right on the line, past the block, as well as in front of the defender in the backcourt.
Pittman with the block on Duello on the left side.
That was a good kick save by Kelly Bates off of that recovery, off of Duello's swing. It just couldn't get followed up by one of her teammates.
15-12 here in set number 4. It was kind of a back and forth battle in the first two. Wisconsin dominated set number 1, hitting better than 340. Gophers returned the favor in set number 2, hit above 340 and won that set. And then a bit more in terms of hitting percentage, even match in the third set, although the Gophers won it handily, 25-21. Duello. Samity was there. Here's Martin block back. Martin will get another swing. Hilly tried the second touch, sent right back to her. Bates rolls it over. Both teams just scrambling right now, a bit out of system. Block back. Good one handed up. Longest rally of the match. Off the block and out, and the Badgers get the point.
Players look a little tired after that long rally, and rightfully so, but good play by Madison Duello. And when the Badgers have needed a hot hand, she's been one of those players for the Badgers that can find a way to get a kill.
And double-digit kills now for Duello. Terrific job tooling the block there. Just brushed it right off the hands. Very effective touch by Martin. Talk about the discipline that it takes to stay in some sort of order and system when you are so out of system for so long, like that long rally we just saw.
It requires a lot of communication, movement patterns that are predictable in the sense that you understand the people who are around you, how they're going to move and what they're capable of doing. It can also wear you down in a sense, not just because it's fatiguing of having to go back and forth, but the better the opponent is at not having a lot of errors or giving you a lot of points, the tougher it is mentally to stay in those rallies.
Good up by Clark off the swing of Hart. Loberg rolled that over, nearly got it down. 3 ball here. Hilly on the slide to Williams. Here come the Badgers back to within 1.
The Badgers are not going away right now. Good use of by Sydney Hilly again going behind to Kiana Williams. That right side attack, regardless of who it comes from, been really effective for Wisconsin.
Just wide, and we're now even at 1 point. It was an 11-6 Gopher lead. And now we are all even at 16, and that will prompt head coach Hugh McCutcheon to take a timeout. In set number 4 here in Minneapolis, Gophers on top, 2-1, leading the 9th-ranked Badgers. In another edition of this border battle between the Badgers and the Gophers. Last 2 times, these teams have gone to 5. And we're all even at 16 here in the 4th. Hey, Wednesday we bring you a doubleheader of America's best volleyball conference. These Badgers will travel back east to take on top-ranked Penn State. Nittany Lions 8-1 in the conference. And then the Gophers also host the Fighting Illini, who are just coming off a tough battle in Lincoln. It all starts at 7 Eastern on Wednesday, only on BTN.
One of the things when we talked to Coach Sheffield when he came into the gym tonight for their serve and pass, we asked him if he had any plans, and how they're going to attack the Gophers and how they're going to play. He said, we're going to play to win. That's what we're going to do. We haven't done that a lot recently against the Gophers. We've gone 5, and we haven't come out on that winning end very often in the recent past.
5 consecutive losses the Badgers have had to the Gophers. They lost 3-2 earlier this year, 3-0 last year, 3-2 when it was here at the Pavilion. Their last win was back in 2014, when in both matches that year, the Badgers swept the Gophers. That ends a 3-0 Wisconsin run. That's called an effective timeout for Hugh McCutcheon. Just long from Loberg. Point for Minnesota.
Really nice swing by her, though. It's good to see her get a little bit of that action in the offense. And Sydney Hill is going to have to use her so that the block has to pay attention to that left side attack.
Right back to Loberg again, who rolls into the middle. On the slide, Williams with another kill. Tiana Williams now with 11. She's hitting above 300.
I like how she's managing her offensive game tonight. She's had blockers in front of her a lot since the first set after Wisconsin established that right side, and she is still hitting the ball regardless of who's in front of her across the net.
30 kills on 54 swings for the middles of the Badgers. Samity with another kill.
That is some tough timing up there. When you have that fast set that could go to a middle, then it shoots out to Alexis Hart on the left side. Tough to manage as a blocker to take care of those 2 hitters in a small space.
Hart on that last kill, not Samity. Here's Hart with the tip. Retke off the top of the block. And she now has bested her career high. 20 kills for Dana Retke, a new career high for the freshman.
These next 2 rotations are really important for Wisconsin. They have Dana Retke in the front row. They want to utilize their service strength so she can stay up there and earn points off the serve.
And that was Samity. First to 20, the Gophers.
A nice quick set back to her. It wasn't out to the pin. She changed her location. Got it past the block and had a lot of room on that sideline in which she could hit it into.
And an ace.
Looks like Wisconsin's going to go with 2 passers right now and take that freshman out of there. Give her a little bit of a break. Let her concentrate on attacking.
Minnesota just 4 away from the match. They're on top 2-1, and what a night it's been for Alexis Hart. She had 24 kills the last time these two squared off. Tonight, she's got 23. Not done yet.
She's so fun to watch, and she's just going to continue to improve and grow and become that 6 rotation outside hitter that I'm sure she's working towards. But I like the responsibility that she takes as an outside hitter. She'll go after the block, she'll go over the block, she'll go around the block, and has lots of range with her shots, both with the hard attacks of the swing, but also taking a little bit off and pushing it over with one hand past the defense.
She delivered the match winner the last time they played more than 2 weeks ago. 15-13 in set number 5. And these absolutely are the two impact players for both the Badgers and the Gophers.
Well, that .625 hitting percentage is just oh my gosh, that's unheard of. Good for her that she's being used effectively and she's taking care of the ball when she gets it.
We'll see .625 here and there, but not when she has 32 swings.
Exactly.
Right? .625 when you have 10 attacks and, 7 kills and an error, but .625 when you have 32 attacks. That is impressive.
Alexis Hart still serving.
So still serving now for the Gophers is Alexis Hart, who has had a night hitting .367. Just her sophomore year. And Redke continues to pile on. That's 21.
There's a double block on her, and they committed to take 2 for the Gopher blockers on her. Redke still found a way to push it past the block into the 4.
The top of the block goes Samity. Redke again. That time Lohman got a hand on it, but sent it wide. Dana Redke.
And it's so important on that first contact of a dig for Wisconsin that they can convert that into a point.
4 kills here in set 4 for Redke.
Quite a bit right there in that back. Sydney Hillick sees it, moves up. That middle back should shade over a little bit and cover that deep corner and right back. Good vision by Jasmine Martin.
Solo block. Nice job, Kelly Bates. Keeping it close here, 22-21. Badgers trying to send this to a deciding 5th. They've done a nice job just kind of hanging around.
That's exactly what I was thinking. They're hanging around. It's almost if they're trying to just bust through that wall that's in front of them.
What a swing by Pittman, delivered right at Lauren Gillis.
That was such a quick attack from Samantha Seliger-Swinson to Pittman's hand. Lauren Gillis just wasn't quite ready for it to come at her with that pace.
I think she took it on the chin. Important point here for the Badgers. Duello got the swing there, pushed out. Martin got it down. That'll bring it to the feet in Minneapolis. Match point upcoming for the Gophers. Little roll. Joust at the net. Pittman touched it last. Block back. Free ball here for the Gophers. For the match, Pittman. Big block. Bates, not yet.
Really good position right there by Kelly Bates. She may be a little smaller for an outside hitter, but she manages her blocking game really well for her size.
Match point number 2. Seliger Swinson on the dump. And what a match for the Gophers at home as they take down the 9th-ranked Wisconsin Badgers in 4. Winning it in the 4th, 25-22, and Minnesota has now won 43 of their last 44 here at the Maturi Pavilion. Two great teams. Led by Alexis Hart and her 23 kills.